Hello friends, today we will discuss about elasticity, Hooke's law and elastic constants of isotropic solids and their interrelations. Okay, so our discussion topic elasticity, Hooke's law and interrelations, so that we can divide into four topics. First one is elasticity. So we will discuss about elasticity, the definition of elasticity. Next is Hooke's law and the next is elastic constants and the last one is the interrelation between all elastic constants. So first one is elasticity. So what is elasticity? So it is a property of matter, or we can say it's a general property of matter. So if we apply a force on a body, so the force action is, so the force will try to deform the body, but the body will try to come to its initial position when this force will be withdrawn. So that is the that's what is called elasticity. So those bodies which are fully recovered to their initial shapes or size are called perfectly elastic, and bodies which are fully retain the deformation state even after the deforming force is withdrawn are called perfectly plastic. Obviously, there is no such body which are perfectly elastic or perfectly plastic. There is a well-known question: steel and rubber within two bodies, which is more elastic? The answer is greater the force that can be applied to steel and yet to be retain its initial position faster than rubber. Conversely, we can say rubber cannot retain to its initial position over the same range of force that a steel can. So obviously, steel is more elastic than rubber. So next is Hooke's law, elastic limit. So before going to Hooke's law, there are two important terms, that is they are stress and strain, which is closely related to Hooke's law. So we will discuss about these two terms first. First is stress. So stress is the force which is acting per unit area of a section of a body. So in the picture you can see we are applying force F on a body of area A. So what will be the stress? Stress is equal to F by A. Next is strain. So strain is defined as the relative or fractional change of a body. So in the picture you can see there is a cylinder like rod. We are applying force F and its length becomes L0 plus delta L. That means initially its length is L0 and after applying force the change in length is delta L. So the strain is delta L divided by L0. So what will be the Hooke's law? So the definition of the Hooke's law is for elastic deformation, stress is proportional to the strain within a certain limit of stress called elastic limit. So within elastic limit, the ratio of stress and strain is constant. So that is the Hooke's law. So you can see the famous graph stress versus strain. There is a region OA is the linear region. So that is the perfect elasticity region. That means in that region OA, any point within OA, it will follow the Hooke's law. That means stress divided by strain is constant, and A point is the elastic limit. And the region AB, if we withdraw the stress, that means the applied force, Then also it will not come to initial state or position, and the BC region is called plastic deformation. That means it will stay in the deformed state forever if we remove or withdraw the applied force. And C point is called the breaking point. So now we are coming to the elastic constants. At first, Young modulus, which is the ratio of longitudinal stress to the longitudinal strain, obviously within elastic limit. So we are denoting the Young modulus Y equal to F by A, that is the longitudinal stress, and delta L by L, that is the longitudinal strain, equal to F into L divided by A into delta L. Next is bulk modulus, that we are denoting using the symbol kappa. So bulk modulus is the ratio of volume stress to the volume strain within elastic limit, obviously. So kappa equal to F by A divided by delta V by V. So here volume strain is delta V by V. So kappa equal to F into V divided by A into delta V. Next is shear modulus of or rigidity modulus, which is denoting by the symbol G, which is the ratio of shearing stress to the shearing strain, obviously within elastic limit. So G equal to F by A divided by theta equal to F divided by A into tan theta. As theta is very small, so we can write theta equal to tan theta. That is why we are writing F divided by A into tan theta. So the next is axial modulus, which is the same as previously called Young modulus, but in this case we are restricting the lateral strain equal to 0. That means axial modulus is the ratio of longitudinal stress to the longitudinal strain within elastic limit when lateral strain is 0. That means xi equal to F by A divided by delta L by L equal to F into L divided by A into delta L when lateral strain is 0. And there is another important term which is not a elastic constant, but it is important. That term is Poisson's ratio, which is defined as the ratio of longitudinal stress to the longitudinal strain within elastic limit. So sigma equal to lateral strain divided by longitudinal strain equal to minus of delta d by d divided by delta L by L. There is a sign minus. That means if there is a positive increase in longitudinal side, obviously there is a decrease in lateral side, or vice versa. That is why there is a negative sign. So sigma equal to minus of L into delta D divided by D into delta L. Now we are coming to the interrelations between all elastic constants. So there are four elastic constants: Young modulus, bulk modulus, shear modulus, axial modulus. So the relations are y equal to, that means Young modulus equal to 3 into kappa in the bracket 1 minus 2 into sigma. Another one is y equal to 2 into g 1 plus sigma. So if we substitute sigma, then the relation will become 9 divided by y equal to 1 divided by kappa plus 3 by g. There is another relation which relates axial modulus xi equal to kappa plus 4 by 3 into g. So that is the interrelations between Young modulus, bulk modulus, shear modulus, axial modulus, and Poisson's ratio. So thank you for watching. So if we enjoy the video, please like and subscribe our channel. Thank you.